talking about operational data store. An operational data store, it has been described by Inman and Inhofe in the year 1996 as a subject-oriented, integrated, volatile, current value data store containing only detailed corporate data. So operational data store, basically it is a database other than the regular refreshing or by the OLTP system, it will not require. So basically if we talk about operational data store, it is a data store. We can say it is a read-only database which is subject oriented. That means it is related to a particular subject. It is integrated. A lot of information related to the products has been integrated. It is volatile, means that information can be changed. And current value data store. That means whatever the current value today is, it will store that. And it contains only the detailed corporate data. While if we talk about the data warehouse, a data warehouse, it is a documented database which includes associatively recent as well as historical information and may also include the aggregate data. If we talk about this operational data store, so it is a type of database that is often used as the interim logical area of the data warehouse. So data warehouse, it is a bigger scale, and if we talk about the logical area of that, so that will be our operational data store. Operational data stores, they are designed to integrate data from multiple sources for lightweight data processing activities like the operational reporting or the real-time analysis. For these kind of activities, we use our operational data stores. The extraction of data from the source databases, it need to be efficient, and the quality of records, it need to be maintained. Since a data, it is refreshed generally and frequently, so suitable checks are required to ensure the quality of data after every refresh. So an operational data store, it is a read-only database other than the regular refreshing by the OLTP system. Customer is not allowed to update any information into the operational data store. So operational data store, we have understood it is a kind of read-only database which is where the customers, they are not allowed to update any kind of information. It stores the current information which we are using, and it is subject-oriented, integrated, volatile and current value data store where we are storing our data. Now let us talk about the difference between the operational data store and the data warehouse. Operational data store, it means for operational reporting, and it supports current or near real-time reporting requirement. While a data warehouse, it is intended for historical and trend analysis, usually reporting on a large amount of data. So when we require only a small amount of data, which may be required for the operational reporting or supporting any current or near real-time reporting requirement, at that point of time we use the operational data store. While when we require the historical and the trend analysis is to be done, we require the data warehouse. An operational data store, it consists of only a short window of data, while our data warehouse, it includes the entire history of data. It is a, we can say, very big database where lot of information related to our organization stored. So it includes the entire history of data. Our ODS, it contains typically detailed data only, while our data warehouse, it will contain the detailed data along with the summarized data. Our ODS, it is used for detailed decision making and operational reporting, while our data warehouse, it is used for long-term decision making and the management reporting too. So it is used for making long-term decisions, and ODS, it is used for detailed decision making. At ODS, it is used as the operational level, means day-to-day operations are performed. So it is used at the operational level, while our data warehouse, it is used at a managerial level, means where the managers, they want to access the information. At the managerial level, we require this data warehouse. Then operational data warehouse, it serves as a conduit of data between the operational and the analytics system. While our data warehouse, it serves as a repository for cleansed and consolidated data set. Our operational data warehouse, it is updated often. When the new data has to be generated, then we use operational data store. But our data warehouse, it is usually updated in batch processing according to our set schedule. We do not every day update our data warehouse. We have a proper set schedule for updating it, and we do it in the batch processing style. We make the batches of data, the big groups of data. According to those groups of data, we have a scheduling date, scheduling timeline. According to that, we can update our data. While our ODS, it is updated as per the requirement. It can be updated again and again. And since it has a small amount of data which has to be used at the operational level only, so it can be updated very easily. So these are few of the differences between the operational data store and the data warehouse here. So operational data warehouse store, you can understand it. It contains small level of data. It contains less information which is required for day-to-day operation. While a data warehouse, it contains big amount of information which is required at a broader level, at a managerial level for the decision making, for making certain strategies for the organization to grow the organization. So at that point, we use our data warehouse to access the information. Now our next topic is variation in data and approach. It's hard to overstate the importance of data in the improvement process. Without data, there is no objective way to measure the success of your effort. So data is the most important thing here. For this entire subject of business intelligence, everything relies on the data. Because if we have the correct data, then only it can be converted into useful information, and which can be further used for taking decisions for the organization. So data is a thing which is of utmost concern for any organization. Data, it can confirm you on the right track or reveal that you need to try something else. Data is required for making some improvement efforts. But learning from data, it is not always as straightforward as it might seem. It is not very easy to learn from the data. It's important to understand how to take meaning from data once it has been compiled. And this involves understanding of the variation in data. Because we have lot of data. Now, to understand that which part of data is useful for us and which we can ignore. So that is very important. Understanding the variations in the data. It is very much important to use the data in the correct way. There is always variation in the data. Whether the data measures something as simple as the daily temperature or as complex as the success of a surgical procedure. Means whether whatever data we are using for, whether for any small activity like measuring the daily temperature or for any complex thing like the surgical procedure, but we have to understand that what are the variations in data. Variations, if we see, according to Walter Shewhart, who is known as the father of statistical quality control and the grandfather of total quality management. According to him, our variation, it can be viewed in two ways. Either as indication that something has changed, which is a trend, or as random variation that does not mean a change. Means there can be indication in our data that something has changed. So there is some change in the data that we need to analyze. Or a small random variation which does not mean a change. So understanding those variations in the data, that what data should we keep, what data can be ignored. Because in our data warehouses, in our databases, we need to store the data. And they do have a limited memory capacity. So we cannot just keep on uploading them with lots and lots of data. We need to understand the variations in the data as per the requirement. So understanding the nature of variation, it is paramount in the decision making about the improvement efforts. So it is very much important to understand that what data should we keep so that we can use this data. And for understanding that data, for keeping that data, whether it is useful for us or not, we need to understand the various variations in data. So data is the first and the very basic thing which we need to understand whenever we are using this data for our business intelligence. Now, let us discuss the OLAP applications and functionality. OLAP, because here we are analyzing the data from a multi-dimensional view. So there are number of applications of this OLAP. Let us discuss them one by one. The very first application of our OLAP is business reporting for sales. The business reporting, it gives an overview of the sales activity in the sales activity within the organization. It shows the trends in the sale over a certain time period. It also analyzes the different steps for sales and the sales executive performance. Now these reports, they can be used to analyze the sales data and assess the situation to make the best decisions to undertake. Because everything for any organization, it has to sell his product. So it is very important to make a proper business report for those sales, that whatever sales have been done, it is very much important to make a report of them. So for making those reports, we require this OLAP application. So the very first usage in an organization of this OLAP is business reporting for sales, because it will understand, it will analyze the different steps for the sales, and so it will analyze the sales executive performance too. And these reports, when they are generated by OLAP, they can be used to analyze the sales data and assess the situation so that better decisions can be taken. If the sale of any particular product, it is more, so obviously that particular product we can use for the benefit of the organization. We can produce more and more of that product because the demand of that product is more. The sale of that product is more. But to analyze that, what do we need? We require the OLAP, online analytical processing. So that is the very first use of our OLAP. Second, in the field of marketing, industries like digital marketing, healthcare, e-commerce and finance, they use OLAP in their marketing. All the industries nowadays, whether we talk about the e-commerce, whether we talk about the healthcare industries, about digital marketing, about finance, everywhere we are using OLAP in their marketing policies. For an example, market-based analysis, if we say, it is a technique which gives the careful study of purchases done by a customer in the supermarket. So, if there is a supermarket and we need to analyze that what all purchases are done by the customer. For that, what do we need? We require the market-based basket analysis, that at what point of time what has been purchased. So that analysis is required. This concept, it identifies the pattern of frequent purchase items by the customer. And this analysis, it can help to promote the deals, promote the offers, now sales by the company, and even the data mining techniques, which help to achieve this analysis task. So for marketing also, we can make usage of our OLAP application so that we can analyze the market situation in a very well way. And according to the analysis, we can promote the deals, we can promote the offers which are done by the company. So that analysis is required so that we can get to know that what is more in the market, what is required more in the market, what is the customer purchasing. So we can keep our marketing team ready to market those products so that they can be sold more and more. So for marketing also, we require our OLAP application. Now, the third usage of our OLAP is management reporting. Management reporting, it aims to inform the managers of different aspects of the organization about the data from various departments of the company in order to help them to make better decisions. The management of the company, he requires the analysis of all the data. He requires that whatever data is there in the organization, it should be analyzed properly so that they can take better management decision according to that data. So they collect the data and present them in an understandable way. It also provides the insights of the company on how the company is doing and what are the steps to be taken to increase the efficiency and to make the decisions to remain competitive in the market. So management reporting, it is another most commonly used applications of our OLAP, because using this OLAP, we can analyze all the data and the management, according to that analysis, can take management decisions so that it remains competitive, it remains advantageous in this market. So management reporting, this is the next very useful application of OLAP. So the next application of our OLAP is business process management. Business process management, it refers to improving our business process from end to end by analyzing it to help the organization to step forward to carry out a business task. In an organization, number of business processes are going on. So it is very much required to improve these business processes. Now, how can we improve these business processes? For improving them, we need to analyze all the processes. We need to record that what is happening, what are we doing with each process, how can we give more input to improve this business process. So, to improve our business process by analyzing it properly, we require our OLAP. So, business process management, it is the next application of our OLAP, which help the management to analyze the various processes of the business so that they can be improved more, so that they can be used in a more beneficial way for our organization. So OLAP, it makes an important usage in the business process management. The next application of OLAP we can say is financial reporting. Financial reporting, it refers to the financial reports of the organization which are released to the stakeholders and the public. The financial reports of the organization. It includes the financial statements, which will include the balance sheet, the income sheet, the statement of cash flow, etc. Everything for any business, everything has to be analyzed properly. For any business, it is very important to make proper understanding of all the finances that are happening for the organization. That means, like every organization, it is running itself for certain benefits. So for running itself for the benefits, it has to properly analyze the balance sheet, that what all inputs we have given to the organization, how much amount of investment we have done in the organization, and how much profit have we attained. So that entire balance sheet, that entire income sheet, that how much income have we received during this year or maybe during this month. The statement of all the cash flow, it all has to be analyzed for the organization. Now, OLAP, it helps us in the analysis of all these finances. OLAP, it shows the financial information that the company chooses to show. So, financial reporting, what is it? It refers to the financial reports of the organization, which are to be released to the stakeholders of the organization and to the public also. So, OLAP, it helps us in making all the financial reports for the organization. Now, there are many other applications of OLAP where we can use them, like for marketing analysis. If you want to analyze our market, that what all things are in demand so that we can produce them more. So for marketing analysis, we can definitely make use of our online analytical processing. Then for customer and product profitability, that how can this product be used in a profitable way, so that even the customer and the organization that is producing them, both of them profit more and more using this product. What all improvements in our product can be done? So for customer and product profitability, we need to analyze the data related to the product, which can be done easily with the help of online analytical processing. Then supply and demand forecasting. If we already know that what is going to come in demand in the market, we are going to increase the supply for that product, so that whenever the demand raises for that particular product, we earn more from it, because we are having tremendous supply of that product. Suppose, like, we can forecast everybody that if rainy season is about to come, then the demand for the raincoats, the demand for the umbrellas, these things will increase. So if the demand increases, we need to keep more and more supply of these kinds of products. People, they are not going to buy the winter clothes. They are not going to buy the sweaters and jackets in this season. So we can analyze, we can forecast that easily, and we can use those products more for in the supply. So for supply and demand forecasting, this is a very simple example, but like we have number of products that are being produced by the organization. So for analyzing all those products, for analyzing the demand of all those products, so that they can be supplied more and more. For that purpose, for the demand and supply forecasting, we can use our OLAP application. The human resource analysis. In any organization, there are a number of humans that are working. Now, HR analysis, that how can the people of the organization, in which field this particular human can be made fit to, so that he can give more and more benefit to the organization. And for doing all kind of analysis on this, we can use our OLAP. So for human resource analysis also, we can use our online analytical processing. Then for the resource analysis and the capacity planning, how much is the capacity of our particular organization where we are producing the product, how much is the capacity of storing the products, because we cannot keep on producing the products if we don't have the capacity to store them properly. Otherwise, they might get damaged if they are not stored properly. So resource analysis is required, as well as capacity planning has to be done. So for that purpose, we require our online analytical processing. Other than this, for the variance analysis, for the claims experience analysis, and number of things, we can use our online analytical processing. So these are few of the areas where we can use our online analytical processing. So we have seen, like in almost all the fields in any organization, whether it is the field of sales, it is the fields of marketing, it is the fields of finance, human resource analysis, supply and demand analysis, almost each and every area, we are making use of our OLAP application, so that we can analyze that particular field properly. And according to that, if the analysis of data is done properly, we can make reports from them, we can raise queries and get answers to them. And so our task of analyzing that data becomes very, very easy. Because our online analytical processing, it helps us to raise a query. It helps us to make the reports related to any particular thing in the organization that we want. So online analytical processing, it helps us in performing all these tasks for the profitability of our organization.